back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ileana and welcome. And if you're already part of this wonderful family, then thank you so much once again for tuning in and coming back. So in today's video, I am going to be doing a first impressions slash initial thoughts, I guess, on the Becca Aqua Luminous Foundation. And this one I picked up from TJ Maxx actually, and it was only $12.99. So that's a good steal. Let's jump in and see what this product is all about. But before we get into the video, make sure that you, as always, subscribe to my channel, give this video a big thumbs up, and follow me on my social media. I will link everything down below. So let's jump into it. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So this is the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation, and this is in the shade Light. So this is from Becca. And it says, veil your skin with foundation coverage that feels water light while it evens and perfects the complexion. Each weightless fluid drop implants subtle luminosity that blurs imperfections and creates a soft, focused glow. So, I've heard good things about this foundation. I'm very excited to try this foundation. I've actually never tried one of their foundations before. So let's see what this is all about. So this is the packaging, and in my opinion, I always love Becca's packaging. Like, I've seen it many times on social media and other influencers on YouTube. So it says shake well before use. So I'm not really sure how to use this. Okay, so I guess this little thing pops up and it's kind of like a dropper. You can kind of push this in, and it comes in like a dropper form. So if you push down on it, it kind of, you know, releases some of the foundation onto there. So that's interesting. I've never seen something like that. Besides, or you know what, NYX did come out with that Total Control, the dropper one. I've never tried that one either, but I have seen, you know, something similar to that. So that's kind of what that is. And I think this foundation came out maybe, I want to say 2 years ago, but I just never got around to buying it, and I saw this at TJ Maxx and I said, you know what, why not? So the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be applying half of it with a beauty blender, because I usually generally use a beauty blender when I'm doing my foundation, and then I'm going to do the other half using a Real Techniques brush. And this is actually not even a foundation brush. This is, I think it's called a sculpting brush, but I love the way that this buffs because it's so dense and so thick. So I like to use that for my foundation. So let's jump into it. So I am going to be going in with my usual primer. This is the Master Blur Stick Primer, and I'm going to just be going in like I would be doing my foundation and my normal, you know, makeup routine. I'm not going to do anything different because I really want to give this a fair shot. So I want to make sure that I am, you know, using products that I normally would be using. In addition, I'm also going to be going with my Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. I did talk about both of these primers, I believe, in my last video. So what I like to do is I like to use a mattifying primer whenever I'm doing something kind of glowy and dewy, which is pretty much what I've been doing. I used to be a very like matte girl. I loved mattifying primers, but lately I've been really into like glowy, dewy stuff. This I'm gonna have to shake very well. So basically all I have done is just my eyes, my eyebrows, and my lashes on. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish up my makeup using this foundation. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some on the back of my hand. It's not really coming out. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need. So let's see. There we go. Alright, I'm going to just kind of dot it on half of my face. I'm going to put the left side, well, my left, your right, I believe. And I'm just going to do half of my face. Alright, so grabbing my beauty blender. This is a Real Techniques Face and Complexion beauty blender, I think. And I'm just going to be blending that into the skin. So alright, let me zoom you guys in just a little bit so you guys can see. So this might be a match. It's a little bit off, and that's because I have a light right here, so it's going to look a little off, but in real life it looks like it does match. So I'm going to zoom you guys in. So this is what the foundation is looking like. I can still see a little bit peeking through right here, but it's very hard to find a foundation that's going to be covering a lot of my blemishes that I got going on. So I'm just going to be blending this out, and we'll see how this does. So this is the half with the Beauty Blender, and it's actually blending out pretty nice. It blended out very easily, and it feels like I'm wearing nothing. Like, it feels like I'm patting, obviously, onto my skin, but it feels like it's so lightweight that it doesn't even feel like I have makeup on. So that's a plus, and it's making my skin look very dewy. So I don't know if you can see, you can already see like a natural highlight. Forgot to put my phone on silent, but you can already see like a natural highlight in the skin. So this is with foundation and this is without. You can see it did kind of cover up my dark circle a little bit. So these are my mom bags. They're inevitable, but it did cover up a little bit of it, so not bad. I'm going to take a little bit more, and this is all I'm doing is just, it's a couple drops. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to be using because it's not really like a pump situation, but I'm just kind of doing a little, you know, squeeze of that. So I guess that would be considered like a pump for a foundation with a pump. Oops, I just moved the camera. And I'm going to be going in with my Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to kind of be stippling, using a stippling motion, and just kind of pushing that into the skin. Actually, I'm kind of liking this with a brush. And I don't typically like using brushes. Yeah, I don't usually like using brushes, but I'm kind of liking the way that this is looking. Okay, so right off the bat, it definitely seems like I have highlight already on my face. So if you have a natural complexion that is very glowy, I'm very jealous of you, first of all, but this might be a little too glowy for you. So I would definitely use a mattifying primer before going in with this, because this is already very glowy and very dewy, that going in with a dewy primer and then going in with this, it might be a little too much unless you have super dry skin. I think that this foundation would be amazing for you. So far, looking into the mirror, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you guys can see what it looks like with a brush versus with the Beauty Blender. Personally, I don't really like using a brush when I'm doing my foundation, just because I don't like it to kind of cake on, and I feel with a Beauty Blender it kind of lets it sink into the skin and it kind of just melts away a little bit better than the brush. I couldn't think of it. So let me zoom you guys in. Alright, so this is what it's looking like. Obviously, you can see it is very glowy, very dewy, and it makes my skin look very healthy. So this is the brush side, and this is the Beauty Blender side. Obviously, we can see that the brush side has a little bit more coverage. I'm not seeing any peek-throughs, as opposed to the Beauty Blender. There are a little bit of peek-throughs through the skin, you know, my blemishes that are going on right there. But other than that, like, let me zoom into my nose so you can see that area. This is my nose, and obviously it's melted right into the skin. All these little dots are my freckles right here, so those are kind of peeking through. This is a little mark that my daughter accidentally dropped something on my face, so ignore that. But, you know, obviously it looks very dewy, it looks very healthy looking. Alright guys, so I just finished the rest of my makeup. I just went ahead and applied my usual bronzer, contoured a little bit, put some blush on, threw a little bit of a clear lip gloss on. This is from Too Faced in Milkshake, I believe it is. But anyways, gathering my final thoughts and what I think about this foundation. So far, I'm really liking it. It makes my skin look very healthy, very glowy. It definitely makes it luminous. I didn't have to even apply a lot of highlight onto my face because my face was already glowing, as you can see when the sun hits it, because I have my sunlight, my natural sunlight coming in from this side. It's literally just, you know, making my skin look glowy and amazing. So I'm really liking the foundation. Would I recommend it? I would totally recommend it. If you have normal to dry skin, I think that you would really like this foundation. If you have oily skin, I'm not sure how it will work, just because it is very glowy and very luminous. But what I would recommend would be maybe try a very good mattifying primer. If you know that there's a mattifying primer that you absolutely love and that has been working for you, I would definitely try that and then put this over it and maybe see how it goes, because I know with oily skin it might be, you know, hard to kind of get that like dewy look without making it look too oily. I have had that struggle before. My skin is constantly changing, especially with the weather changing. Chicago weather is something else, but my skin is constantly changing, so I definitely know that struggle. But I think that if you do have normal to dry skin, you would definitely love this foundation. Oily skin, maybe you might try a mattifying primer underneath, but other than that, I think that it's pretty good so far. So I'm gonna try to see how it goes throughout the day, and you know, I will let you guys know in future videos and such, my, you know, thoughts on this. But you can't really make us, you know, hardcore review on a product just by one use. But you know, just the way that my foundation and everything else kind of blended in. Oh, one thing that I do want to mention, I did go in with my concealer that I usually go in with. It's the Makeup Revolution concealer in C6. I always use that concealer to conceal underneath my eyes. I did notice that it did kind of stick onto the foundation instead of kind of blending it out. So when I went ahead and I just kind of stippled a little bit with a brush and then went over with a beauty blender, but other than that, everything else just kind of seemed to glide right on, and it gave me no problems. So that was the only thing. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I can do some more first impressions and reviews. You know, buying makeup is not always cheap, so I'm gonna try my best. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye!